Hello everyone, myself Dr. Rajyashree Zavle, Assistant Professor, DG College of Commerce, Satara. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about Business Regulatory Framework Paper 1. Its subject code is 16502. In this particular subject, we are going to study many important provisions. In this particular lecture, we are going to study the content of the syllabus. There are many important topics. There are laws which are dealing and discussing about this framework on business transactions or business regulatory framework. So our first topic is, that is unit number 1, law of contract general principles. This law of contract is included under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Although the year is 1872, there are many important changes or the amendments in this particular law. In this unit number 1, we are going to study definition of business law and its sources. Second is definition, essential element and kinds of contract. Third is offer and acceptance. Fourth is capacity of parties. Fifth is consideration. Sixth is free consent and legality of objectives. Seventh is void agreement. Eighth is discharge of contract, and then remedies for breach of contract. As you know that law relating to contracts in India is contained in the Indian Contract Act 1872. The act came into force on the first day of September 1872. It is not an exhaustive code containing the entire law of contract. The act as it now stands contains the general principles of contract of indemnity, suretyship, bailment and agency. These are the special contracts. Other branches of contracts are now governed by other acts such as the Partnership Act, the Negotiable Instrument Act, the Sale of Good Act, etc. Within the limiting principles laid down in the Indian Contract Act 1872, the parties may create rights and duties between themselves. Such rights and duties created must not be unlawful. That means all the transactions or their rights and the duties, that should be lawful one, and it should not be illegal, and must not infringe the legal principle. That means there should not be violation of the rights and the duties. The Indian Contract Act may be divided into two parts. Section 1 to 75 deals with the general principles of the law of contract. Section 124 to 238 deals with special types of contract such as contract of indemnity and guarantee, contract of bailment and pledge, and third is contract of agency. So here we need to understand that the general principles regarding the contract are included in the first part of Indian Contract Act 1872. Now all these points we need to cover in unit number 1. In unit number 2, that is special contract, as we see that contract of indemnity and guarantee. So contract of indemnity and guarantee are included in section 124 to 147. In this particular topic and subtopic, we need to understand the definition of indemnity and guarantee, then the parties to the contract, distinction between contract of indemnity and contract of guarantee, then types of guarantee. So all these points are very essential, which are included in the section 124 to 147. The next subtopic is contract of bailment and pledge. This is also special contract under the Indian Contract Act 1872. So we need to understand the definition of contract of bailment and definition of contract of pledge. Its features are very essential. Then we need to understand the distinction between bailment and pledge. So contract of bailment and pledge are included in section 148 to 181 of the Indian Contract Act. And third is contract of agency. Contract of agency is included, or the provisions regarding contract of agency are included under section 182 to 238 of the Indian Contract Act. So we need to understand what is the contract of agency, what are the parties. So if we talk about the party, there are principal, there is principal, or there are principal, third party, and agents. All these people or persons play very important role in contract of agency. We need to also see modes of creation of agency and its termination. So students, we need to understand, if we are talking about this contract or the law are nothing but the rules and the regulations provided to regulate the external human behavior, to control the external human behavior for the smooth functioning of the society. So if we talk about this commercial transaction or business transaction, there may be violation of rights, there may be violation of duties, or breach of contract, or breach of duties or the obligation. So to make their contract or their transactions in a good manner or in a controllable manner, these provisions plays very important role. Party need not go to the court directly. First, they need to see their duties and the obligation. They need to behave according to their terms and the conditions of the contract. And then, if suppose there is any problem or violation or breach of any duty or any terms, if there is any loss to the parties, and if party want to go to court and ask for the remedy, then they can approach to the court and ask for the remedies. So in this way we need to understand general contract and special contract. So in coming lecture we are going to see the various provisions regarding general contract and special contracts. Now we'll discuss next topic, and that is Sale of Good Act. Sale of Good Act is also very important. Sale of Good Act 1930. The year is 1930. Although the year is 1930, there are many important latest amendment and the provisions in this particular act. While discussing Sale of Good Act, we need to understand the definition part. So what is goods, or what are the goods? Who are the seller? The duties of the seller and the buyer, their role, their functions. Yes. In this particular topic, we need to discuss about contract of sale of goods. This contract of sale of goods are only for the movable goods, not for the immovable property. It's for movable property, and that is in the form of goods only. So we need to understand the definition of contract of sale of goods, its concepts and essentials. Second point is sale and agreement to sale. We need to understand the difference between sale, that means contract of sale, and agreement to sale also. Then third point is conditions and warranties. This part is also very important, because unless and until there are terms and the condition or conditions and the warranties, that contract will not be a proper contract. So party needs to fulfill their terms and the conditions. So we need to also understand the definition of conditions and the warranties, difference between conditions and the warranties. Third point or the fourth point is performance of contract of sale. So if we talk about creation, we need to also talk about or see the provisions regarding the performance of contract. So there are types of this performance. There may be actual performance of a contract, and there may be also a breach of contract. So if there is breach, there are remedies on that particular breach of contract. And finally, we need to understand the unpaid seller and his rights. So all these topics are very, very important. We need to understand very carefully. There are important provisions, there are important cases or the case laws provided by the courts. We need to see the judgment given by the courts, which are very essential. And then finally, fourth topic, and that is about Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. This topic or this law is very, very important. It includes salient features of Limited Liability Partnership Act, nature of limited liability partnership, incorporation of limited liability partnership, and limitations of liability of limited liability partnership and partners. So dear students, here we need to understand that the Partnership Act 1932, it was earlier, even some provisions are enforceable today also. So extended form is Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. So its title itself telling us that the law is about limiting the liability of partners or the partnership. Previously we know that the question was regarding the liability, and there was so many prejudices, and there were many problems in enforcement of their liability. So due to this act, now it is easy to enforce the liability, duties and the obligations of the parties. Previously we were talking about the special contract. So if we talk about this contract of indemnity and contract of guarantee, the contract of indemnity and contract of guarantee are the special kinds of contract, as we have said now. They are species of general contract. Even these contract of bailment and pledge, contract of agency, all these are species of general contract only. So unit number 1, unit number 2, unit number 3 and unit number 4, all these topics are for this semester 5th for the BCom students under the Business Regulatory Framework paper 1. So these are the reference books. Students, I would like to tell you that while referring books and the reference material, in the lectures only I will tell you the material, what kind of material you want to use or you have to use. There are books. So see, if you see these books, there are business law books and then mercantile law books. So N.D. Kapoor mercantile law book is very nice. Kavita Krishnamurthy book is on the business law, that is also very important. And Avatar Singh book on principle of mercantile law. All these books are very essential for this business regulatory framework paper 1 and 2nd also. So all this is about our syllabus on the business regulatory framework paper 1. Now I would like to tell you about the pattern, exam pattern. So as this become part 3rd, regular students, here 40-60 pattern is there. 40 marks will be for your internal evaluation and 60 marks will be for your theory paper, and there will be continuous internal evaluation. There may be assignments, tutorials, and then even sometime I will conduct online lecture through Google or through Zoom, and you need to join each and every lecture. Yes, this is very important thing. Nobody can take excuse. If there are any problem, you can communicate to me. You can send message and you can tell your problem. There are important topics. Although you see these topics are in short, but there are very essential point as a subtopics, and that we need to complete in our lectures only. So 60-40 pattern or 40-60 pattern is there, total 100 marks. So I will tell you how we are going to conduct this internal evaluation in the next lecture. So I hope you have understood our syllabus. If you have any query or any question, you can ask me in the comment box, or you can send me any message. So thank you. These are the websites which you can refer, and there are other websites also which I am going to share with you on the group, WhatsApp group. Thank you one and all.